picture this. You want another dog, so you go and see a few different litters. But every time, none of them stand out for you until you see him. He's a Presa Canario cross dog de Bordeaux, and he's perfect. He's exactly what you've been looking for. So you take him home the same day and decide on a name, Rocky. Then time flies by, it's like every month he's doubling in size. And then it happens. He's 7 months old, already the size of a tank, and when you take him out, you just can't hold him back anymore. For Rocky, it didn't matter if it was another dog, a smell, or a person. He just wanted to go over to everything. And even though he was only young, his strength was no joke. So you go to a trainer, and literally in under half an hour, you went from this to this. Now this is really common in big dogs. A lot of the time they ain't got a bad bone in them, but all that happens is they're so playful, and unless they've been told otherwise in a way they actually understand, they don't understand that pulling's even a problem. They just think, oh, there's something fun over there, I really want to get over there and see it. What's the quickest way to get there? So then they pull, and then obviously we're not strong enough to hold them back. So in their mind, they're getting what they want. They're not thinking about us, so they're winning. Now to stop this, what we need to do is start to play to their self-interests. If you can get a dog to think that it was their idea in the first place to do what we want, then they're actually going to want to choose to behave. But if we force them into it, if we use our strength or if we muscle them, then they see behaving as more of like a chore. And we know what it's like. You don't want to do a chore. If you're given the choice to do a chore or not, you're not going to do it. But if they think it was their idea in the first place and it actually adds up in a way they understand of, oh, doing what you want me to do is actually the most fun thing for me, then obviously they're going to choose to do it, and it's like a win-win. They get what they want, we get what we want, we're all happy. So to do this, the first thing you need to do is kind of delve deeper into the reasons why he's pulling in the first place. Now, with Rocky, the main thing is he's just playful. So he'd see a dog in the distance or something fun in the distance, even just a smell, and he's like, oh, I want to go see what it is. He's young as well, so he's quite curious. He's like, oh, let's go over there. So then that was like the enticer. That's what made him want to go over. And then with a dog, they have something called an opposition reflex. So whenever he feels pressure one way, or any dog, whenever they feel pressure one way, they naturally want to pull against it, and they actually enjoy doing it. This is how we've got them to pull sleds and carts throughout the years. We didn't want to teach them it, so we just took the dogs that were the most pulley, the ones that enjoy pulling the most, and then we just bred them together. And obviously, back then, having a dog that pulls you as hard as Rocky does, that would have been a really good thing, because sleds ain't light. So obviously now that we don't want that, and now we walk him around on leads, it's not a good thing. But because he enjoys, whenever he feels pressure one way, pulling against it, that just adds to the fuel to the fire and makes him want to pull even more. So he sees something that's fun, he gets enticed, he's curious, then he tries pulling over there, he feels this pressure holding him back, that makes him want to go even more. And then because he's strong, he manages to get there. And then when he finally gets there, it's like fun, pulling. He gets where he wants. So it's like, as soon as he gets there, he hits the jackpot. As well, if he doesn't pull, he never gets what he wants. If you imagine, if you're walking this way and the smell's over there, or the other dog's over there, if it's up to us, we're just going to keep walking, and he's never going to get that thing. So he thinks the quickest way to get what I want, and also the guaranteed way to get what I want, is just by pulling. And pulling's fun. It's like, it's a no-brainer, I'm just going to go over there. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find a way to lower the value of these distractions. Now what we do is, we say it's the equivalent to like tickling a dog. And basically, when you stroke a dog behind the ear, they curl up and they enjoy it. Stroke them just behind there. They love it. But what we do is we use a training collar which pretty much overstimulates that same spot. So it doesn't hurt them or nothing. All it does is pretty much overload that point. So it's a bit like tickling them. So then as soon as they go to chase after another dog or go the wrong way, whatever, we just use the collar, and then this pretty much just tickles them, makes them uncomfortable doing that thing. And they're like, well, going over there was a 7 out of 10, but this collar's making me uncomfortable at a 8 or 9 out of 10. Okay, I don't want to do that. So then he's actively choosing to not do that. As well, on top of that, what we try and do is give him a little bit of guidance. So whatever way he's going, we're going to take a step the other way. So if he's trying to pull me that way, I'll use the collar as I step to the right. This way, I'm not just making him uncomfortable. I'm giving him that guidance. I'm helping show him that I don't want him engaging with that thing. And also, whatever a dog's focusing on, whatever they're staring at, is obviously, that's where their brain is. So if you tell them off, it doesn't matter how you tell them off, but if you find a way to tell them off in a way they understand, but they still focus on the thing that they want, they might disregard the negative, because they're only thinking about the positive that they want. So even if we do the equivalent of tickling him and make him uncomfortable and lower the value of going over there, because he's focused on it, he gets a bit like stubborn, like headstrong. Well, I still want to get over there. I don't care if I'm getting told off. We obviously don't want that. So if, as I give him that guidance and if I give him that correction, if I can get him to turn his head as well, so he's looking. Oh, so he's got this uncomfortable, his tickling like sensation, and he's had his head turned. And then when he turns his head, he's looking to me. That just snaps him out of being engaged with that and reminds him, oh, I'm supposed to be with you instead. So all of this just adds up to him thinking, pulling, engaging with other stuff just isn't worth it anymore. Now that's one side of it. But if we only do this one side, the negative side, then he's going to start dreading walking with us, because he doesn't see it as a positive to walk with us. He just sees it as a negative to be away from us. So obviously he's going to choose to stay with us, but he's not going to enjoy it. What we need to do is up the value and raise the value of him being with us. If we can make him think that it's a privilege being with us, then obviously he's going to enjoy it. So anytime he's with you, anytime he's beside you, make sure you're praising him, you're stroking him, you're just giving him that extra little bit of engagement, especially if there's another dog around. If he sees a dog and then he chooses to look at you instead, you need to make a big deal out of that. You need to act like he's just won the lottery. Give him all the treats, all the toys, play with him, stroke him, praise him, everything. He needs to know that that's such a big deal. He hasn't just walked nicely on autopilot. He's actively chose to give up the other thing that he wants because he knows that he'd rather be with you instead. Anytime he shows you any bit of engagement around a distraction, you need to make a big deal out of it. So that's kind of both sides of it. Where if you imagine whenever he sees a dog or something that he gets distracted by, the first thing we do is we give him that correction, which is that tickling sensation, which snaps him out of it. We give him guidance to turn his head away from it, so he stops focusing on the thing that we don't want him to be with. And then as he turns his head, he looks to us. And then once he starts engaging with us, that's when we give him all the positives. That's praise, strokes, toys, treats, everything that he enjoys. That's what you got to give him. And that's what we did with Rocky. Literally, I think it took, I can't remember now, I think it was like 30 or 40 minutes. And literally, he's gone from one of them dogs that you feel like you're on like roller skates with when you're holding him, because he's so strong. He's just, some dogs, I don't know what it is, they just know how to use their weight as well. So he was putting well hard. It was literally, you couldn't hold him back. And when you can take a dog like that, just by playing on their self-interests, you can just kind of shift it and say, you don't want to be doing that, mate. You want to be doing this instead. It's actually really fun. And actually, I wish a lot of you could kind of join on for a session or something, just to kind of watch how simple it is, because it is actually really easy. Like, you might see online, I think people, it's kind of maybe like an ego-fueled thing, but they try and make it kind of overcomplicated. They use scientific studies saying, this is the reason they do this, and da-da-da-da-da, which does make them sound smart. And obviously there is a case for the studies. But if you're just an owner, you don't care about that. You're not trying to be a dog trainer, are you? You just need to know that, what do I do when he pulls and how do I stop it? Like, that's how simple it is. And if you just take kind of what we've gone over today, where you lower the value of him pulling and raise the value of him being with you, then it's a no-brainer. You have to think, how stupid would your dog have to be that if you lowered the value of being away from you, how stupid would he have to be to still be away from you? Obviously, if your negative doesn't outweigh the positive, he's still getting it. If you imagine, let's say, pulling to another dog's worth $20 to him, and the negative you're giving him is only like taking $10 away from him, then he's like, I'm still $10 up, I'm fine overall. But if our negative is like $50 being taken away from him, then obviously it's a no-brainer. Why am I going to bother losing all this money? I'll just stay with him. So you'd have to have quite a stupid dog for him to not understand that, and I haven't seen one that stupid yet. So obviously, lower the value of him being away from you. Any dog will get that. Any dog I've trained it's got that in literally. I think the longest it's taken me to stop a dog from pulling in that initial kind of interaction is about an hour and a half. And you do get some proper stubborn dogs, but other than that, most dogs, 20, 25 minutes, they understand the idea of it. 30, 40 minutes, that's when they're starting to walk nicely, engage more with you. Now, if you want to see a few more examples of me doing this with different dogs, and also see my lessons breaking down every aspect of the walk, so leaving the house, stopping them from pulling, stopping them from reacting, and kind of everything in between, and getting them to come back when you call them. If you want to see all of them lessons and see some real world examples, you can sign up to my Skool community. You get 7 days for free. So if you just want to try it out, see what it's like, but you can join my community. And like I said, you'll get all the lessons there, you get all the frameworks, you'll understand everything about the walk, and you'll be able to finally enjoy walking your dog again. So if you want to see what that's like, just click the first link in the description and you'll get 7 days for free. I'll see you there.